Hey, I'm Brian hanging out with Winston McCall from Parkway Drive. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Not bad. So how's this tour going on?
Tour's going amazing. We got sunshine today in Philly, which is nice. Wasn't expecting that one.
I know. It's rare to see nice weather up in the Northeast in wintertime, right?
Yeah, especially we just came from Canada, and that exactly wasn't the nicest weather we've ever been in.
Oh, I could imagine Canada is not the country you want to be in during the wintertime.
No, definitely not. Definitely not when you're coming from an Australian summer as well. You kind of go from polar opposites there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You go from warm to cold, but I guess you're used to that from touring all the time, right?
Kinda. This is actually the coldest tour we've ever done before, so we expected interesting, but this was kind of very cold and interesting.
Are you a band that usually tours like in the summertime?
We tour any time pretty much, but we've always seemed to be the band that got lucky and kind of comes in just after the storms. This time we kind of came in on the freak storms, so yeah.
Now, you have a great album that came out last year called Deep Blue. Any comments you want to make on any general comments?
We're still happy with it, which is nice. It's been almost a year since it's out, and we're still stoked with it, which is good. And the reaction we've got off it's been phenomenal. So anyone who's picked it up and supported us and come out to these shows, thank you very much, because it's pretty mind-blowing.
With this album, I read about it that it's about a person who basically gets to the bottom of the barrel and then kind of tries to rise back up. Where did that come from? Is that influence from any kind of true story or just something random?
It's a bit of both. The idea was to write an actual story that could be followed through the lyrics, so it definitely did get a literal sense taken in that way. But it was just something that was, I guess, taken from life in general. I think it's something everyone can relate to, is questioning why they're here. I think that's the ultimate thing. What's the meaning of life? And yeah, the more you travel the world, the bigger it gets and the more questions you get. So yeah, that's kind of where it came from.
Where did the album artwork come from in this album?
The album artwork and the lyrics and the music all kind of came together as such. We had an idea for everything, and we found this wonderful artist called Dan Mumford, and basically I sent him away the sketches of the ideas that we had that went to the music, and he sent back exactly what we wanted. So it was just one of those things that worked so well.
Cool. And any major influences that went into this album?
Not particularly. I think the ultimate influence for us was just the feel of it. We instead of necessarily going into the album with all these goals we wanted to achieve musically or anything, we just tried to write it in a way that it flowed. And when we just played the music as we were writing it, and if it worked, it worked, and we said, sweet, that's it. And if it didn't work, we just didn't push it. So the songs just kind of were made in a really organic way, and that was basically the whole idea of writing the album.
And it definitely turned out to be a great album, and
I like it, which is nice. Definitely still happy with it, so that's cool.
Hey, as long as everyone's happy, that's what matters, right?
Exactly. I think it's a lot. There's no point in pleasing the masses and then you're not being happy with what you've done. So in the end, you're not going to please everyone, so you may as well please yourself.
I know that you've toured with many bands in the past. What's one of your favorites that you've toured with?
They're actually playing right now, to be honest. Our friends in the Warriors. We've played with them, we've toured with them probably about 5 times now. They're actually the first band that ever brought us out to America to be able to play. They're the band that got us out of Australia to start with. And still love them, and I'd be happy if we got to tour with them up until this band's dying day.
Now, I don't know much about the Warriors, but have they been around as long as you have?
A bit longer, I think. I'm not even sure. I know they put out the first album I heard of them was 10 years ago. So I think about 11, 12 years maybe. I don't know. It's still going. We're only I think we're going into our 8th year now, so they've got a few years on us.
What's one band that you haven't toured with that you'd like to tour with?
The Gaslight Anthem. That's it. They're probably favourite band these days. And they're very different musically from us, but they're absolutely phenomenal. And I'd love to somehow tour with Gaslight Anthem.
Yeah, well, I guess only music festivals would be maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We played with them a couple of times on music festivals, and that's the thing. I have to take it in little bite-sized pieces because, yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of the mixed bill, though, so maybe one day, I don't know, we put together an ultra mixed bill.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's nice to be diverse, but it's kind of not going to really happen death metal and normal alternative.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see how we go. This bill's a little bit mixed, and there's been some interesting reactions on certain nights for certain bands.
Now, of course, you've played many music festivals. What's one of your favorites do you like to play?
Warped Tour in the States. It's just so unique to being able to, play a tour that is a festival that lasts for like 3 months is absolutely insane, especially it being in summertime and the way it's set up. It's really, really unique. So, yeah, if we get to play that again, I'd love that one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more about Warped Tour. I love Warped Tour every year and look forward to it.
It's just got a great mix of bands, great atmosphere, great attitude, and the way it's laid out, it's great. It seems a lot less like seeing like a bunch of giant rock stars on one big stage acting like morons, as opposed to just seeing some down-to-earth bands and a lot of them. So it's just pretty cool.
I know they haven't announced all the bands on Warped Tour, but if you were given the opportunity this year, would you jump on it?
Oh, definitely. We can't this year, unfortunately, because we've got European festivals to play, but it's one of those tours that if we ever get asked to do it, we'll jump on it straight away. There's no real question asked about that one.
Even if you'll get a few select dates to play, I guess that's what matters.
Oh, definitely. It's great to be a part of, so, yeah. It's got a good heritage behind it as well.
Any specific favorite year from Warped Tour that you like?
We've played it twice, and to be honest, my favourite year I can't remember when it was, but Warped actually came to Australia, I think, 3 times before, and they played in our hometown, which is tiny, and this was back in the mid-90s, I think, so I'll say then, because at that point in time, we got to see Pennywise for the first time, we got to see Blink, like before Blink broke, and a bunch of crazy bands like that, and we couldn't believe it at the time, so, yeah, we will always owe that festival for coming to Australia.
I didn't even know they went out of, like, the US or Canada at all.
I think they made a go of it early on, I'm not quite sure, but they definitely came, and it was, I don't know, they haven't been back since, but it was awesome when it happened.
What's some random facts about the band?
Random. One of our guitarists has grey hair. Our bass player and our other guitarist have orange hair. We're probably the smelliest band in existence, and yeah, we're all surfers. And God, I don't really know what else. Our drummer has really weird shaped feet. That's kind of random enough for you, I guess. I'll leave me out of it.
Any specific hobbies or stuff you like to do on your spare time?
We're all surfers. That's it. Like if we're not in the band on tour, we're at the beach. We come from like a little coastal town, so anytime we can, we're in the water.
I'm definitely a beach kind of person. You like to do like surfing and stuff?
Yeah, anything to do with the ocean. Like we've all grown up on the ocean, so yeah, anything there is us.
Have you met any pro surfers at all in your life?
Yeah, a bunch of our friends are pro surfers and stuff. The area that we come from is like a bit of a surfing mecca kind of thing. So yeah, we're all friends with a bunch of dudes on the tour.
So since you're in Philly tonight, do you like cheesesteaks?
Had to get that question in there.
Oh yeah.
Personally, no, but I did, I slept in until 4:30 in the afternoon today, and around 3 o'clock when we rocked up, I could just hear people piling out of the van going, "Where's the cheesesteaks?" So, yeah, I'm guessing someone in the van likes it.
Favorite tour memory?
Oh, God.
I know there must be a lot.
Yeah, God. Breaking into a water park with friends in California in the middle of the night. That's probably favourite.
That sounds very adventurous and devious.
Yeah, definitely. It was we all had to wear shoes in case the cops came, but yeah, being able to ride a water park at night and do whatever you want is kind of awesome.
Oh, most definitely, especially in the summertime. Oh yeah. What's one of your favorite cities to play in, or even country to play in? Obviously, I would imagine Australia.
Australia's nice because it's home, but I'll say Athens, because we got to play in Athens a couple of times, and it's just insane to be able to look around saying, wow, I'm playing here, and look how old this place is. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I guess once you've been all over the world, I guess, there's certain places that stand out to you, and Athens is,
It's like you said, we've played so many shows, and there's so many of it amazing, but yeah, there is a few places like that you got to pinch yourself and... Yeah.
I would assume you watch shows like South Park, Family Guy, all that stuff. What's your favorite, South Park or Family Guy?
Oh, that's so hard. South Park invented that kind of humor, and they're still so amazing. But for consistency, I'll go with Family Guy and sheer crass.
That's a tough question to answer right there. If given a chance, which late night show would you like to perform on?
Conan? Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Conan, that's a good choice. Well, I've noticed that a lot of these late night shows are becoming more indie rock, and alternative,
Yeah. let us have it, let us on there, but given the choice, yeah, I'd play that.
You know what, I would find that interesting and entertaining to see a death metal band on one of those shows for a change.
Yeah, definitely. It would. I think the audience reaction would be the most interesting part.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you see a mosh pit.
Maybe you just see a mass exodus, though.
Yeah, true. You just did the Daily Havoc, didn't you?
Yeah, we did that. It was weird because we filmed it at like 9 in the morning, which was really strange, and I just got off the plane, so it was pretty weird to like go into like the studio next to where they're filming like an X-Men movie and play a couple of songs. It was bizarre.
No, yeah, because I know a lot of these shows like do tape in the morning. How was that experience for you?
It was awesome. It was just bizarre. Like, it was bizarre to be playing in a studio and have these massive cameras and lighting setups, and everyone there was awesome, and the show was run by really cool people, which was rad, because we didn't know what to expect, but it was just unlike anything we've ever done before.
And I guess that would probably be one of the entertainment shows that you actually would fit in on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and when they, I don't know if they realised that we were surfers or anything until we actually got in there, and they're like, oh, what have you guys been doing? Oh, we just got back from snowboarding. Like, oh, we should just talk to you guys instead of having a guest. I'm like, oh, well, next time maybe.
Hey, I guess that can work. You have an upcoming tour, the Mix and Mash tour I read about.
It's a weird one.
Now, who's all on this bill again?
A bunch of our friends. You Met Six, Bleeding Through, The Wonder Years, and Confession. Basically, we come from like this tiny little town, so anytime we got any kind of music in our town was a blessing, and a lot of the time it was really mixed bills, like you have a really heavy band and a really poppy band and a rock band or whatever, but you just took it because that's all you had. So the idea was for this tour to just get our friends from different styles of bands and just mash it together on one tour, and hopefully people get to broaden their horizons of music a bit. So there's pretty much no bands on that tour that fit together.
kind of like trying to find a new audience, kind of a new fan base.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily, either trying to find a new fan base or at least opening the people there that are there to just see one band up to more music as well, because I don't know, it's a big world out there, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that people will appreciate other than the one style of music that they seem to love.
Oh yeah, because you have to be eclectic in this kind of world with music.
Exactly. Yeah, and people definitely want to have that identity of their one scene that they hold on to, but I think it'd be nice if they realise it's not the end of the world if they like something else.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to be open-minded as far as music is concerned. I saw you just recently did a disaster relief thing with your merch store. Yeah,
it was. We went through a crazy few weeks in Australia. We actually lived 2 hours south of Brisbane, which was hit by ridiculous floods, like ridiculous. The water went from like 0 to something like 25 feet in, I think it was 5 minutes, which is, insane. Like, we couldn't believe the footage on TV. It was like 65 people dead and just a city wiped out. And then a week later, just north of that, was just wiped out by a hurricane. So, yeah, if anyone can donate anything, there's relief funds around online. And it was just something that hit home because it's literally just up the road from us. We play. It's the first place we play on every tour. The venues we play with are underwater. So, yeah, it's pretty mental.
It's pretty terrible to get stuck in floods. I mean, I got stuck in a flood once in Jersey, and I have to tell you, I mean, I'm sure it's nowhere near as bad as what Australia was, but still, I mean, it's bad.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much power water actually has when it's in such a massive volume. And yeah, the images that we saw were scary, and had a lot of friends up there and stuff, and it's just devastated like a quarter of the country. So yeah.
I can tell you a quick story from last year. I was at an Alkaline Trio show in Jersey, and the show got canceled because the venue got all of a sudden out of nowhere just because there was like a creek or river behind it, just flooded the parking lot.
Flooded the show.
Yeah, and my car was in that parking lot, so my car's underwater, and me and my friend had nowhere to go. And if we wouldn't have ran into 2 people that are from back where we live, we would have been screwed because all the roads were closed going off to all the nearest hotels.
Yeah, it happens like that. We've only copped it a couple of times on tour, but Australia's like that sometimes. But this was just something. I think the statistic was it was the size of an area the size of France and Germany combined that was underwater. Which is, ouch. Yeah, ouch.
That's just terrible when that kind of stuff happens. Are you into sports at all?
Not particularly. Well, just because we don't have time to keep up with anything. Back in the day, we used to play soccer, but it's one of those things that when we go on tour, you kind of just play shows and sleep. Then when we go home, we surf, so that's it. Other than surfing, it's pretty much it for us.
seems like every other country, well, I'm not saying the U.S. doesn't care about soccer, but it seems like every other country but the U.S. is really big on soccer. That's like their number one sport.
It's called the world game, but no, Australia is similar to the U.S. in that, like, soccer's rising up. It's not so much the top-tier sport kind of thing. It's something that's been coming up over the years. But it's just, my dad's from England, so it's what I was brought up with. But it's, everywhere else in the world you go. Like, we played a tour a couple of years ago in Germany while the World Cup was on, and it was absolutely insane. Like, we're travelling between shows, and there's just mobs of people, and, intense atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the World Cup last year.
Yeah, we were on Warped while it was on, and it was the first half of Warped was just World Cup fever. It was awesome.
Now, how does it feel being the band that you are right now, being around for, since 2005, I think it's when you start to rise up?
We started in late 2002, I think, and then we started touring overseas 2005, but it's bizarre that this band has lasted this long. Like, you're literally looking at 5 kids from this tiny little town in Australia playing this heavy style of music that kind of doesn't necessarily fit into mass marketing of any kind, and we never really tried to do anything with it, and somehow 8 years down the line we're still touring and the shows keep getting better. It's really something that we don't understand. It's an awesome experience. We just kind of don't question how we got here.
It just happens and that's the end of it.
Yeah, it happens and you say, lucky us. And that's about it. Yeah.
And you just look back and you're like, wow, really, I came that far down the road and here I am, and you just don't understand how you got there.
Exactly, yeah, that is the hardest question that we ever get asked, is how did you do it? Because we don't know how we did it. All we did was just have fun, and somehow it happened around us.
Do you hope to be an influence on other bands? I would assume, Yeah,
it'd be nice. Like, I'd like to influence people in the fact that they realise that they can do something musically and have fun and be themselves and not have to care about anything else. And like, the fact of the matter is, if this band wasn't doing what it was doing now and wasn't successful or anything, we'd still be stoked because we like the music we play. And there's nothing sadder than seeing a band playing music that they hate just because they want to try and be, inverted commas, famous. So, yeah.
Anything else you want to add in?
Not really, just thanks. Like I said, this has been a crazy experience being in this band, and I'm not sure if people realise how insane it is for a bunch of Australian kids to be able to tour America and do what we're doing and have people receive us so well. It's really insane. So it's thanks to everyone who's ever turned out and supported us, because it's really down to them supporting us that we're able to do this.
Almost definitely. If it wasn't for the fans.
Exactly, yeah, that's the thing. If it wasn't for the fans, we couldn't afford our plane tickets. So, yeah.
Well, Winston, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And I am Brian, hanging out with Winston McCall from Parkway Drive.